Hello friends and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about something juicy. Today we're going to talk about the reality of the calorie deficit. And I know nowadays it's everything people are talking about, but I just hit my lowest weight in my mini cut, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity to share my tips, my experience. So that's what I'm gonna do. And of course, I'm gonna cover the basics just because you have to have heard them. And they are basics for a reason because they work. So we're gonna get through them very quickly. And then I'm gonna get into the tea. I'm gonna tell you all the little tips and tricks that help me. Let's just say in 3 weeks, I'm seeing more results because I stuck to these things than in my whole entire fitness journey. So me seeing results after these 3 weeks, after doing these things, says a lot. So they're working, so you gotta trust me. And I'm gonna share them with you because I'm not gatekeeping and I want you to be successful as well. So this is what we're gonna do. This is the beginning of October, 3 months until the year ends. So this is kind of what they call the winter arc, I guess. Let's just say you have 3 months, so lock in. Don't wait until the 1st of January. You're not going to magically change from the last day of December to the 1st of January. So start now. Why not? And I'm here to help you. Let's get started. So I'm going to start by saying you do not have to lose weight. Listen to me. You do not have to lose weight. And most of you probably also do not have to lose fat. There's also a difference what we're going to be talking about. But nowadays we're on like this skinny trend. Everybody wants to be skinny. If you are not overweight in the sense of it is damaging your health, you do not have to lose weight. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You don't have to do everything people say on social media. So just as a small reminder for you. Okay, so let's get started. As I said, we're going to start with the basic stuff. Number 1 on that list is you have to be in a caloric deficit. That's kind of the whole point. If you want to lose weight, you have to consume less than you burn. If not, your body's not going to think about taking its own tissue to provide energy for the body. If you're giving it enough fuel from the outside, it's going to use that as energy and not energy that you have stored in your body. If you don't know the amount of deficit you should be in, there are so many websites. You can ask AI. You can even tell AI, what information do you need from me to tell me what an optimal calorie deficit would be to sustainably lose fat. So I'm not going to give you any formula or like a magic number. The deficit is very specific to each person. We have to clarify there's a difference between losing weight and losing fat. To lose weight, it is as simple as eating less than you burn, because then your body is going to break down all kinds of tissues in your body to use it as a fuel. You're going to lose body mass in general. But that means that's not going to be only fat. That's going to be muscle. That's going to be fat. That's going to be all kinds of tissues. So you're just going to shrink and you're going to feel weak. You're not going to have energy. You're going to get very unhealthy because we need those muscles to be healthy. That's not what we want to do. Even though it might be quicker, that is not what you want. Believe me, trust me, and listen to me, that is not healthy. So our goal should be to lose fat. Especially, I think most people don't want to lose weight or lose fat because of the number on the scale. Nowadays, it's pretty much all about looks. So if you want to have that toned look, if you want to have abs, if you want to look better, feel better, you want to lose fat. Losing muscle is not going to give you the look that you're thriving towards. So that's what we're going to be talking today. These tips are for losing fat, which takes longer but is more sustainable and is going to keep you healthy. And that's all that matters. At the end, that's all that matters, really. Okay, with that being said, let's go to number 2 on the list, and that is eat high protein. Yes, you've heard it a million times, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. You don't want to lose the muscle in the process of losing fat or losing weight. What are muscles made of? Protein, mostly. So we gotta consume the protein to maintain the muscle or even build muscle. You can build muscle while losing fat. Hit that protein. Here, again, there are certain numbers you hear in the internet. Me, for example, being someone who is pretty active and has a higher muscle mass to maintain, I try to get 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. I don't know what that is in pounds. I don't calculate in pounds. And believe me, if you do not track your protein or actively try to hit your protein, you are not having enough. I don't care what you tell me, you do not have enough. Okay, calorie deficit, high protein. These are like probably the nutrition basics that you need to have a sustainable fat loss. And number 3, drink water. Don't be a dehydrated bitch, please. Drink your water. I used to be someone who, for the life of me, could not drink water. I was never thirsty and I never carried water anywhere with me. And I felt it in my energy levels. And also, you are more hungry. You get hungry if you don't drink. Because many times when you're hungry, you're actually thirsty and your body just gives you like the hunger cue, even though it is thirst. Well, I guess we're here for tip number 1. When you get hungry, drink something first. And with something, I don't mean alcohol, I mean water. I can tell you're dehydrated. Don't lie to me. I know you're not drinking enough. And number 4 on the list of the things you have to do is move your fucking body, please. Do not lay on your bed the entire day and doom scroll on your phone. That's not good for your mental health and also not if you want to lose fat. So move your ass. Go on walks. Get that steps in. I know if you heard it a million times. As I said, I'm not reinventing anything here. I'm just trying to make it clear to you. This is what you have to do. Move your body. The more you move, the more you burn. And outside from steps, you gotta lift weights. You need to build those muscles. If you want to be toned, or let's be real, if you want to be healthy, you gotta have muscles. Please, for the life of me. So please lift those weights and lift heavy. It's gonna do wonders for your energy, for your look, and for your health. You need those muscles. Please, please, please. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to say this. Muscles are the #1 indicator of longevity. So if you wanna live long and healthy, you need those muscles, especially leg muscles. They're gonna keep you fit. They're gonna keep you moving. You're probably not 60 or 70 when you're watching this video, but maybe when you're 60 and 70, you're gonna think about me and be like, shit, she was correct. You know what to do. Eat in a calorie deficit, eat your protein, lift weights, get the steps in. Oh, and drink water. Yeah. So basically 4 to 5 basic things you have to do if you want to lose fat sustainable. And now we're going to go on like little tips, little tricks, things that helped me in my experience. I have a little list here. I'm going to give you the tea because I want you to succeed. Let me tell you, people say being skinny doesn't make you happy. I'm happy as shit. I've never felt better. I'm gonna get into it. I have all the tea. We're gonna start with the little tips around the calorie deficit. And if you question, yes, I know I should be in a deficit, but how do I stick to it? And how do I know I stick to it? And it's not that easy. I know it's easier said than done. So a few tips. Track your food. Don't be a bitch. Don't say it's gonna turn into an eating disorder. Nowadays, most people, they have no idea what is in food. People think rice is a protein source. People say peanut butter is a protein source. Look at the macros. And when you understand the ingredients and the macros of food, you're gonna see food differently, yes, and probably some foods you're gonna see in numbers, which is kind of a trend. People saying on social media that they don't see food, they see numbers. To a certain extent, that is not bad. At least now you know what you're putting into your body and you know what you're fueling your body with. Me knowing that most donuts or cupcakes are like 400, 500, 600 calories, yes, I want to eat them less, but that's kind of the whole point. They're not healthy. So me knowing the numbers of those foods and what's in there that is purely carbs and high sugar, I'm not gonna eat that. Well, I might. I'm not saying I'm never gonna eat that again, but like I don't have the urge to eat those things as often because I know they're bad for me. And there's nothing wrong about that. I know it's not good for me and that's it. At least for a certain amount of time in your life, you should track your food because nowadays you don't know what's in there. This is a learning process. You're not gonna have to track your food for the rest of your life. At some point you can estimate the calories, you can estimate the macros, and that's really all that you want. You want to understand the food that you put in your body and therefore what is good and not so good for you. Second tip, this is more like a truth than a trick, but somebody's gonna tell you, you are going to be hungry. When I started, I struggled with that so much. I couldn't for the life of me feel hungry. I couldn't sit with it. I thought I should always feel full. No, you're gonna be hungry and you're not gonna be like starving and like really exhausted, but you're always gonna feel a little bit lighter and you're gonna sit with the hunger a little bit more. You're gonna learn to sit with the hunger, which is not easy, but this is something I just learned in this mini cut. But it also has to be said that we're not supposed to feel full all the time. You're not supposed to feel like you're exploding after every meal and stuffing food in and then wondering why you're bloated or you look like you're in the 7th month of pregnancy. Learn to sit with the hunger. Learn to deal with it. It gets better. It does. And if you have problems with snacking, it kind of depends on how your living situation is. If you live alone, the partner, with your parents, whatever, don't buy snacks if you can't hold back. If you know that if the chips are in the pantry, you're gonna go for them and you can't stop thinking about the chips being in the pantry, don't buy them. The same with the chocolate. It might be hard at the beginning because you're like, okay, but then at night on the sofa, what am I gonna snack on? Well, that's the whole point of a deficit. You're not gonna snack, or you snack on fruit, or you have some veggies cut up. It does sound very restrictive if you say it like this, but if you cannot handle yourself around snacks, don't buy them. If you can control yourself around them, so let's say you have a chocolate bar at home and you know at night on the sofa you're gonna take one piece and eat that one piece and the rest of the chocolate bar stays there, then you're fine. You can have chocolate. You have to learn about yourself if you can handle to be around snacks or not. I cannot for the life of me. And the other day I wanted to snack something and I looked into the fridge and the only thing that I saw was like pre-cut carrots and celery, and I was like, ugh, I do not want carrots or celery. But I was craving to eat something. I was like, okay, I might as well have a carrot. And guess what? Afterwards I wasn't hungry anymore. The two last things I want to talk about regarding nutrition is eat your fucking veggies calories, not just because of the micronutrients and vitamins and all of that shit. No, it fills up your plate. Depending on how low your deficit is, your plates and your portions are gonna look very small, and the eyes also eat with it. Or how do you say that in English? If you see that your portion is very small, you're probably gonna think, oh, that's not gonna fill me up, I'm gonna be so hungry after. And guess what? If you have those thoughts, you're gonna be hungry after. So fill your plate with veggies, fill it with fruit. You can add so many low calorie veggies. I mean, most veggies are low calorie. Just chop them in there, put some spices on it, and believe me, most times it tastes incredible. And it's gonna fill you up, it's gonna be healthy, it has a lot of fiber. We haven't talked about fiber yet. This is going too deep into nutrition, but if you want me to do a video solely on nutrition, because I am currently studying to become a nutrition coach, so if you're interested in more about that, about healthy nutrition or tips or whatever, let me know. I would love to do that. So we're not gonna get into fiber and all that stuff now, but let's just say veggies have a lot of fiber and they are very, very healthy for you and very important. So fill your plates with veggies. That's my whole point. And then my last tip regarding nutrition is calorie banking. You can do this different ways. Calorie banking basically means if you do calorie bank throughout the day, that you have a small breakfast or you eat less calories in the first half of the day, for example. You're someone who likes to snack or have a big dinner, that you have more calories open for the end of the day. To be honest, it works some days. Today is one of those days where I'm gonna have sushi with some girls. We're gonna go out for sushi and I am super excited. I love sushi. The way I handle a day like this in my calorie deficit is I'm gonna have a little smaller breakfast, smaller lunch, not snack in between, because I know I'm gonna have a big dinner. And no, I'm not gonna track my sushi if you're wondering that. I just know for my conscience, if I have a little less during the day, I can have a little more during the night, especially because sushi is calorie dense. So you can do calorie banking throughout the day if you know you're gonna go out for dinner, and you can also do calorie banking during the week and the weekends. Most people, to be honest, fail the calorie deficit or the fat loss because they are very strict with themselves during the week, and then on the weekends they just go off the rails. They say, well, I was strict 5 days of the week, now over the weekend I can have whatever I want. Sadly, that's not how it works, because at the end of the day, the calorie intake throughout the week is what matters. If you can hold, for example, a 1,600 calorie deficit for 5 days, and then have 5,000 calories Saturday, Sunday, add up these numbers, and then at the end of the week, you're not going to be in a deficit anymore. If you, on the other hand, do 1,600 Monday to Friday, and then 2,000 on the weekends, you're most likely going to be still in your deficit. So you can kind of play around with these numbers. That's why people say it's a numbers game. Okay, so I said those are the last tips about nutrition. I looked at my little list. It's not. Looking at my list, I see that most things are regarding nutrition, but that makes sense. The fat loss happens with the nutrition and not the exercise. People put so much effort into going to the gym and moving more, which is great, amazing. I'm proud of you. You cannot out-train a bad diet. You have heard that before, because the diet is what people mostly struggle with, including myself. This one goes deep, but stop lying to yourself. And I'm looking into your soul right now because I know you're lying to yourself. If you're already someone who's tracking food, I know that sometimes you don't track that little snack, or you do not track the extra splash of milk or creamer in your coffee, or that 1 tablespoon of sugar. My point being, if you've never tracked before, you don't know how many calories are in each food, you're gonna track it. Please get to know the numbers of the foods. And I'm saying stop lying to yourself, because I used to do that a lot. I did not track small things. What happened often to me is I had like a big breakfast or a big lunch, and I was like, well, I'm just not gonna have anything for dinner. I'm fine. I can eat more now because I'm super hungry. I'm not gonna have dinner. I'm gonna be fine. Well, guess what? 3 to 4 hours later, I was starving. I was like, well, but now I'm hungry. Okay, I'm gonna have a small dinner, but then tomorrow I'm not gonna have a big breakfast, or I'm gonna not snack, or whatever I'm gonna do tomorrow. I kept lying to myself that I'm gonna do something, and deep down I knew I was not gonna do it, but it was just easier in that moment. Stop doing that. It is not good for you. You're not gonna achieve your goals if you keep lying to yourself. I've learned that the hard way, so don't lie to yourself, please. Okay, now we're at the most interesting chapter in my opinion. It is the whole mentality about calorie deficits and eating less and restricting yourself. It is tricky because there's a lot going on in your mind while you're in a deficit. Except you're super chill with it and you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat less. For me, it is not that easy. I don't know why. I always struggled to not to think about food. And one thing a lot of people also struggle with, me included, is mouth boredom. It is a very weird term, but I think you understand what I mean with that. Mouth boredom and cravings are very tricky because it is basically your mind playing games on you, because you're not hungry. It's just your brain. You want to have that stimulus to eat something, chew on something crunchy or juicy or sweet. You want that sugar. And yeah, if you think about it, it does come from your gut. Your gut gives your brain signals that it wants sugar or it wants certain things, but you can train it and you can control it, because your mind and your thought and your cravings, they don't control you. Just because you crave something does not mean that you have to give in and that your body needs it. You're the one controlling your thoughts and not the other way around. Your thoughts are not controlling you. Learn to do that. If you really do not want to give in to the mouth boredom or the craving, keep yourself busy. You will notice that you think about food so much if you don't have anything to do. Another mentality hack that helped me a lot is if you think about fat loss being a lifelong thing, you're gonna break after one day. Okay, maybe let's say day 2. Day 1, you're motivated. But as soon as the motivation goes down and the cravings kick in and the hunger kicks in, you're gonna break if you think about this being a lifelong process. It is not. You will not be able to be in a deficit for your entire life. That's just not how it works. Think about it as a phase. Set yourself a goal. Say it's a certain amount of weeks. You want to look a certain way. You could even take the number on the scale, even though I'm not a big fan of this. I like to go on energy levels, how I feel. When I started this mini cut, it was mostly because I was freaking bloated after every single spoon I put into my mouth. And I'm not exaggerating. It was painful, bloating, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I tried to cut out certain foods, nothing helped. And then I said, maybe it's because I'm eating too much. And there it was. I wasn't drinking enough. I was eating way too much. So with that being said, think about it not as a lifelong process, because it is not. Maybe not even think about it being like a 3-month process. Think about it from day to day. For example, it's late at night and you're craving something. Think about it, I can have it tomorrow. It is still there tomorrow. I do not have to eat it today. I can have it tomorrow. Because then tomorrow is the next day. There's new motivation and you can think about it the same way again. Either you give in and you say, okay, today I earned it. Today I'm gonna have it because I've been craving it. The food will always be there the next day. That mentality kind of helped me as well to not eat everything I have right now. So these were basically the tips and the tricks and the things that I do in my mini cut, in my fat loss. And I'm at a point where I'm, even after weeks, still very motivated, which does not usually happen. I'm gonna keep going. I'm very happy where I'm at. I'm very happy with my energy levels, with the way I feel, the way I can still lift heavy. I can still progressive overload while being in a deficit because I'm fueling my body. And to be fair, there is so much more to say. There's so much I haven't said in this video. I don't want to overflow you with information. I think that's enough for today. To end the video, I'm going to leave you with 2 quotes that hit me every time. So one of them is, imagine you're old. You're laying on your deathbed and you kind of revisit your life and think about everything you have achieved and everything you've done. And you have to acknowledge that not once in your life you were capable of being consistent to become the best version of yourself. This one hits hard. And I'm not saying that the skinniest version is your best version. Me, for example, I, at least once in my life, I want to be as lean as I can. I want to be disciplined. I want to be consistent. I want to learn how to handle food. I want to challenge myself and I want to become the best version of myself. And in my case, for me personally, that is to get lean and feel the best in my skin. Think about what the best version of yourself is for you. And then think about laying on your deathbed and not having achieved that because you were a lazy piece of shit or because you couldn't resist that one donut. And then the second one, I heard it in a podcast from Leo Skeppy, in case you know him. He said in one of his podcasts, I don't remember which one, I'm sorry. He said, if you're not willing to pay the price to become the person you want to become, do not complain about where you're at. Girl, I was listening to that on my way home from work and I was like, God damn, that's gonna stick with me. I'm gonna leave it on that dark note. Think about those 2 quotes. They really changed the perspective for me. So yeah, I hope I gave you a little insight what the basics are, but also some helpful tips and tricks that you maybe have not heard before. And if that's the case, leave a comment what was new to you or what's gonna help you, what are you gonna implement. I would be very interested to know that. And if you have some tips for me, please let them there. Just because I have my tips and tricks doesn't mean that there are days that I'm struggling. So help your girl out. I'm helping you out and we're gonna become better together. That's a nice note. I'm gonna leave it at that. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me, my life in beautiful Spain or gym content or anything, hit me up on my Instagram or this YouTube channel. It was a pleasure sitting down with you and talking to you. I will see you the next time.